Okay, so first craft fair done. Just got home. It's 9 o'clock, and this is gonna be a moderately long video. My fucking hair, dude. I really need to get it retwisted. It's a mess. So let's go over the day. Put you up here, huh? Okay. So last night I tried to go to bed early so I could be up for the fair. Okay, because the fair opened for the public at 8 a.m. And it's right in town, it's not a far drive for me, so it's not a problem. I didn't have to do a long distance drive for it. Um, but still, I had to get up early to make sure I went and got everything set up properly and kind of figured out what was going to be going on and stuff like that. It's my first one, because I did the book signing event where I was just like a guest table person. I guess I was a featured author. I was on the thing. I don't like saying featured author, but whatever. But that wasn't a craft fair, so never done a craft fair before. Always wanted to, and this was at the local church. So, anyways, I get there at 6:30 in the morning, or roughly 7 actually. Close to 7, probably quarter of 7, 7 o'clock, something like that. Yeah, I got up at like 6:20, I think, and I had everything already loaded into my car the night before to make sure there was no hassle. I set my clothes aside and put my wallet, everything I was going to bring with me, either in the car or in a pile, so I wouldn't forget anything. I do that nights before I have to go do something important. Um, and so I get there and I look around. They're like, and it's like a rainy, like it's like a misty, dismal day, starting out to be that way. And they're like, "Hi, did you bring a tent?" Like, no. I was told, I was told that I would be inside, because there would be outside tables and inside tables, and I was told I would be inside. So I was like, "No, I don't have a tent," and I told them that I thought I was supposed to be inside. They said, "Oh no, all the vendors are outside." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And she goes, "Did you bring a table?" I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Again, you guys told me you would provide a table." But thankfully, I borrowed one from my mom the day before just to be sure. And I'm very glad I did that because I would have been fucked otherwise. So I'm like, "Yeah, I have a table, but I don't have a tent." And she looks around, and it's just like a little, standing canopy or whatever. She looks around, she sees a couple that are already set up that they provided. And she's like, "I don't think that person's showing up today, so you can just take that one." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I drag all my stuff over and I start getting everything set up. And it's raining a bit now. And I'm selling books and paintings on and like charcoal stuff. I mean, it's all like all that stuff had like a matte spray finish to protect it, whatever. But still, stuff that can be very easily damaged by rain. And again, luckily I have a. I'm taking my glasses off. I'm getting a headache. Luckily, I had the canvas, the canopy above. I'm so fucking tired. I had the canopy above my head, so that's fine. But the problem is, whenever more rain would come down, or anytime enough water accumulated on the fucking canopy, the tent. I'm just gonna call it the tent. It would obviously come down in droves, and it would hit the ground and splash. And I'm like, well, fuck, I can't put any. What I was gonna do. I know the weather was gonna be like this today. I thought it was gonna be like maybe cloudy but no rain. So what I was gonna do was lean a bunch of my. Sorry if that's my speakers making a noise. I was going to lean a bunch of my. Fucking dragging something up there. I was gonna lean the canvases against the table, against like the legs of the table or something, and just kind of have them like down below in front of me, or whatever. Couldn't do that. I tried that, and I was like, well, I can't put them on the ground. So I took my car's sun visor reflector that you put in your windshield. I laid that on the ground and I put the canvases on that. I'm like, okay, that looks kind of stupid, but it's all I got. It's the best I got. I don't have room on the table for this because I have fucking like 9 books with me that all need to be stood up individually, plus my photos and all that stuff like that. So I do that, and then I look at it in a few minutes, we're not open yet, and I see, oh, they're already getting wet. The canvas is already getting wet because of water hitting the ground and splashing. So I pick all those up and I put them in the fabric box that I brought them in, that I brought them with me in, and I just kind of set that on the table with me. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna have to tell people I have canvases. If you want to look, they're in there. That's all I can do. I had no other choice. And as I'm sitting there, and I have like the table more or less centered to the tent, every time a gust of wind would come by, guess what? It sends the rain horizontally. So I'm getting hit with some water a little bit occasionally. My photos, which are laminated, but they're still getting splashed with water, and the books are getting slightly hit with water. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do about this, dude? This shit sucks. So I kind of like tighten everything together as much as I can on the table, and I take it and I pull myself back as far away from all the edges as I can, and I get it to where it's in a good enough spot to where only if it was a good enough gust of wind would anything get hit with water. And everything was dry, everything was fine for the most part. And so that's what I did until 8 o'clock when it opened, and I'm looking around, and there's me, a booth to my right, which takes up the space of two booths because they're selling plants. They're selling vegetables, they're selling flowers, they're selling decorative plants, just stuff for your garden, perennials, yearly, whatevers. And they're selling that. And I'm like, this is a town full of old people, dude, and they're selling plants. I'm fucked. Like, it's not a competition, but I'm fucked. There's no way. Everyone's going to look at me, go like, oh, books, plants. And they're just going to go straight for the plants. I'm like, God damn it. So, and then there's another booth, not right next to me, but like a little bit to the left and out a little bit. And they had, looks like some, I didn't really get to see the other booths because I was just trying to stay at mine the whole time. And there was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 booths out there when there was supposed to be like 10 or 12, but a lot of people didn't show up because of the rain. But one of the booths had like, looked like stuffed, like antique looking toys that not toys, but like dolls and stuff that they made, I'm assuming. Another one, I don't know what they had, honestly. I couldn't see the way they had their stuff displayed. Their backs were to me, so I couldn't see what they had in the front. Another one, which was one of the host ladies, had her own booth there, and she had like some cool like crystal stuff, and just kind of like new agey type things. I don't know how to really describe it. And then the booth past her was a booth that pissed me off the most. It was a booth of two 30-something-year-olds, a guy and a girl, selling 3D printed slop. Just trash. The kind, I mean, it's stuff you look at and go, oh, that's cool, but it's just like, you didn't make that. It was a table full of stuff that they didn't make at a craft fair, and that shit pisses me off, because everyone else has their table with stuff that they handmade, that they poured their souls into, time, effort, blood, money, sweat, tears, cum, whatever the hell they used to make it. And these fucking fakers, these pieces of shit, bought a 3D printer for like $150, $200, maybe $300, I don't know, and bought or stole the designs online, the models online, loaded the filament, and hit print. And got a table worth of stuff. And it's just dumbass fucking trinkets and paperweights and just some bullshit. And I'm pretty happy to say, I don't think I saw anybody buy anything from their booth. And because it's that kind of thing where you think, oh, the old people are going to fall for this. They're going to go up and go, oh, you made this? And they're like, yeah, I made it. You fucking fool. I didn't make this. I printed it. That bullshit. So, again, thankfully, I don't think they really sold anything, and I don't think they had that much traffic at all. I'm glad they looked bored. Fuck you. It's a craft fair, you asshole. So, things are going, and the reason why we're not inside in the church is because they have I guess it's called the white elephant, which I don't even know what that term even fucking means. People kept saying it. Gift exchange, I guess. But I think in this case, it was just kind of like stuff that the church was given or donated or stuff that the church has that they were selling. There was like a whole bunch of, I didn't get to really see much of it, but there were people in there with like baked goods. Baked goods were some stuff they had in there, which was like, yeah, cool, it's handmade, whatever. But then I saw like boxes of, I went in there to go to the bathroom once because I held my pee for like 4 fucking hours. I had to piss so hard, but I didn't want to leave my booth in case somebody came by. But I had to go at one point. I was trying to hold in farts so bad. And yeah, on the inside there was like puzzles, like some toys, and just kind of random stuff like that in there. And I'm like, why couldn't this shit be outside? Dude, the people who handmade their stuff, they should be inside protected from the rain. You guys put on this event once a year, and we're all stuck outside. But the problem is, they had this stuff all set up the night before, and there was a shitload of stuff inside on a shitload of tables that would have been an absolute nightmare, hell on earth, pain in the ass to move outside. So they just kind of had to deal with it. So it would have been nice to have tents that actually had walls. That would have been sick. And all, but thankfully, even though it was like dismal, it was a little bit chilly. I probably should have worn a jacket, but I didn't get eaten alive by mosquitoes. I was karate chopping a few of them, but it was actually not that. As soon as I got there, I'm like, I'm gonna die. My back is right to the edge of the woods at the edge of the parking lot. I'm gonna get eaten alive by mosquitoes. I was desperately searching my car for my bug spray, but I did not have it with me because I cleaned out my car, and it's in my hiking bag. I'm like, son of a fucking bitch. But thankfully, I was fine. I think I got bit once on my leg. Bastard. I killed him. Anyways, yeah, so we're doing all that stuff. And again, I have my table all set up. It's looking good. And I have people start pouring in a little bit. No pun intended with the rain. It wasn't pouring or anything. But the rain did eventually lift. After like maybe 10 or 11 a.m., the rain started to lift pretty decently to where it was like, okay, we're good. Yeah, everything's fine. Sun didn't come out, but it was fine. People were browsing around, and I'm trying to remember the exact timeline of how it all went, because it opened from 8 to 2 p.m., but again, I was there at like 7 a.m., so, and I was on my feet I think I sat down for maybe 10 minutes max, and I have a list of like some prices that I had for like the canvases and stuff, but here are, I'm not going to try to remember exactly who got what, but I'm going to try to go over stuff. This is what I sold. I sold 1 copy of book 1, which is cool. Again, my whole point was every time somebody asks like, "How's it going?" and just like, "Oh, you know, good luck to you." And my response is always like, "If I sell 1 book, I'm happy. That's all I care about." I did sell book 1 once, so that's great. And I had some people that took business cards that are like, "Oh, I prefer to read on digital." So who knows? Maybe I'll sell a Kindle too. I sold 1 copy of the Archive of the Unexplainable, which is the paranormal stories book, which people seemed really interested in that one. I gave 1 copy of the paranormal book and 1 copy of Incarnation. Actually, sorry, I sold 2 copies of the paranormal book, I think, maybe, I don't know. And I gave 1 of the paranormal book and Incarnation, which is the tree book. I gave 1 of each of those as part of their, like, donation raffle, which I didn't know I had to contribute to. I already paid for a booth, why do I have to give you a donation raffle? Whatever. So, they're like, something worth up to $25. I'm like, well, these 2 together are probably on Amazon, like, $20, $25. So, take these, I guess. I gave away 1 photo print, just because the guy seemed really chill. I was like, yeah, you can have one of those, that's cool. I sold 2 copies of Incarnation. And I think I sold a photo, I think. I can't quite read my handwriting that much. And then I had somebody who was there, this lady that I've known since I was a kid, who is close friends with my grandmother. I've literally known her probably since I was like 6, if not further back. She probably knew me before I knew her. She came over and like, oh yeah, so you're still volunteering. She's like, yeah, I've been retired for 7 years, and it's like, oh cool, that's still good to see you here. And she came over, and she's like, here, this is a donation, and she hands me a check. I didn't look at the price. If someone ever hands me money or a check or anything like that, I will not look at the amount until you're gone. I can't stand people like, oh, what's this? Oh, you gave me enough to be happy. Oh, you didn't give me enough. Oh, thanks. You know, it's like, have some fucking decency. Don't even look at that. Like, I'm not gonna, here's a check. Good enough. Like, but she handed that to me. She's like, here's the donation. And then I was like, oh my god, you don't have to do that. Thank you so much. Blah blah blah. And I tried to deny it because I'm like, you don't have to do that. I'm like, here, well, if you don't give me that, you can buy something instead. So you still get something, whatever have you. Like, don't just hand me money. At least get something out of it. And she's like, well, all right, which. I think her intention was to ask for. I think she's going to donate and then also give me money on top of that. I think, but I was just like, no, just take this for that, whatever. And she's like, so what would you recommend something for me? And I pointed her to Incarnation, which Incarnation was the one thing that a lot of people I suggested to a lot of people because of the nature of it, and that it's like an easier, shorter thing to get into. So she took one of those, and I gave her a photo, for free, or for free. She gave me, it was a $25 check. I don't know if I said that. It was a $25 check. So I gave her those to go with her, and that was cool. And I also had one lady, who seemed really excited and cool. She came with, I assume, her husband and her daughter and son. It was a daughter and son. I think her daughter was 9. She mentioned, she's like, "What do you think? Do you have anything here that she could read?" She's 9. I'm like, with some help, she could probably read Incarnation, but it is a little bit more, not cerebral, but like for a 9-year-old, it might be a little out there. But I think together you guys could get through it, and she could definitely understand it with your help. But she ended up getting, I think, one copy of the Paranormal book, and she got the one copy of book 1, but she bought that through Venmo, which was cool. So that was, for the two of those, $24, and so total, I think, after everything, so it was 24 for those, the check for 25, and then it was I think $10 for the other copy of Incarnation or something like that, whatever it was. And then, so I made that, and that was like, I think that's like $80 or something roughly around there. I don't know, whatever. I'm not doing fucking math right now. And that's pretty much the end of the sales there. So, and it was good because, like, while I didn't make a crazy amount of sales, I sold some stuff, and I got my money back from from booking the fair and a little extra, which is obviously fantastic. And every time you do one of these things, you learn. I learned a lot about what I should prepare for. If it's, I mean, you shouldn't be preparing for a fucking raining thing outside under a little canopy, but still, just like how to set up my table. How can I better utilize the amount of space that I have on this table? So what I want to get is a tiered book display system, kind of like what you see like a magazine rack, where they're like, it's like stair step, but have something like that for actual novels. I want to, because right now I have like those little like legs that they like get like sits on like that or whatever. It's like, the books slot in like this on like the two legs or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It looks like whatever. So I have those. Anyway, and there was a bunch of people that I just ended up talking to for a long while, being as personable as I can. And then there's a bunch of people that I just had a long conversation. I think I talked with the one guy for like 25-30 minutes or something. Well, nothing was really happening. He's working one of the other booths. And again, I didn't have time to really go over and look at the other booths. I didn't want to walk away. Every time I think, oh, I'll go walk away and check those out, the more people were pulling in and stuff. And the attendance, I asked some of the people who were hosting it, they were working like the grill, making some food for people. And I asked them, like, is this about what you guys expected for a turnout with the rain? He's like, no, this is less than half what we got last year when it wasn't raining. I'm like, ooh. So, missed out, definitely, but it's just circumstantial. Couldn't help the rain. So, potentially could have been a lot busier. Potentially could have been a lot more sales. But that's okay. I'm not complaining whatsoever at all. But we aren't done. What I had to do was, since the fair was going from 8 to 2, I had work at 2 o'clock. So, I'm like, I gotta try to pack up a little early and get to work. And it did die down. People knew it was done at 2 o'clock, so it pretty much nothing happened for like the past half hour. So I packed myself up, got in my car. I brought a change of clothes, my work shoes with me, and other stuff like that. Went to work, got changed, and went straight to work. So from 6 to 9, when I finally sat down, like 20 minutes ago, I have been on my feet and 6:30 or 6:30 when I woke up, to 9 o'clock, I have been on my feet the whole time, only sitting down maybe 15 minutes total. Like, from like, oh, I got to sit for 2 whole minutes. That's crazy. An hour later, I got to sit for 6 minutes. Call the police. Yeah, maybe 10, 15 minutes total I got to sit down. So I am fucking beat. And all that on 4.5 hours of sleep. Because I laid down at 12. I saw that in my tongue. I laid down at 12. I couldn't fall asleep till like... Excuse me, I'm sorry. I couldn't fall asleep till probably almost 2 o'clock. And then obviously I wake up 1,000 times a night. So I got a total of probably 4 hours of sleep. Between 4 and 5. I'll be generous, I'll say between 4 and 5. But that's not all. I know this is going on long, and I appreciate you staying listening. If you're still listening, leave a like in the video. Leave a comment. I'm also sorry for looking so fucking yellow. I don't know why. I'm going to go like this. Ready? We're going to look up the color blue. There. Now my desktop... I got flashbanged. Hold on. Now we got some blue. Okay, because I just have it pulled up, so it's reflecting off my face a little bit. Anyway. So, I get to work, and I start doing my stuff, and I'm in there at one point, and it's like, probably, I'm working around, I get there at 2 o'clock, and it's probably, I don't know, maybe around 4 or 5 o'clock, probably around 4, and I remember, oh, okay, I'm going to go out and check, because I have photo prints on display at my work. I'm like, I've had those displayed out there for weeks, and there's like a little safety deposit box where you can put money in if you buy something. There's the usernames for Venmo and Pay and Cash App, so people, if they don't have cash, they can buy something. And for weeks I check every day when I get there, when I leave. No sales, no sales, no sales. I'm like, what do you expect? I don't expect anything. So I go out there and I check at around 4 o'clock. I pick it up, I shake it, just like getting ready to be sad. I look, I'm like, Chelsea, which is one of the, I almost said the LNA, it's one of the servers there, and I hold up the box, I'm like, I got one, I need to go get my key. So I run back with the box, like, get the little key off my keychain, poke it up, there's a $10 bill, which means somebody bought 2. Because they're $5 each, because they're in like little frames and stuff like that. They're in these like little greeting card photo display card things with an envelope. And I'm like, I sold 2, there's a $10 bill. So I run into the office with my boss, I'm like, guess what? I don't even say guess what, I'm just like, and he looks at me like, what? He looks like, I look like there's something wrong. And I hold up the $10 bill, I'm like, I sold 2 prints. And he's like, God, you scared me, I thought something was wrong. I'm like, no, everything's right. So I'm so fucking thrilled. I put that in my wallet, and I'm giddy, dude. I'm fucking giddy. I'm like, yay, look at me, I did it, I'm an artist. And I go and I put the safety deposit box back on there. I clean up the photos a little bit, and I'm one step away from skipping back to the kitchen. And then whatever, we go through the shift. I am fucking dragging, dude. I am so sleepy. And before I leave, I'm like, what are the odds? I'm gonna go look again. Shake, shake. Open. 2 $5 bills. I sold 2 more. Dude, I was on cloud 9. And it's like, yeah, I sold 4 prints. But it's like, I sold 4 prints passively. They were just there, and I didn't have to say shit about it, and they just bought them. They liked them enough that they bought them. Yeah. So I sold 4 prints for an extra $20, so I made like $100 today. Which is like, hey, it's $100. It's $100. Not amazing. But god damn it, for me, that's insane. For me, that's like a gold star of a day, you know? And if you want to look at it differently, I withdrew like $50 to have for change with me. You know, I had like a bunch of 1s and some 5s for change. So if you want to look at it like that, I got $150. Because that money, I guess I'll put it back in my checking account, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably deposit it, then transfer that to my savings for my credit card payment. But all in all, honestly, it was a really fun time. Despite the rain, despite all that, I had a good time talking with people. They were sharing stories and talking about every time, with the photography, with the prints. I'm like, do you do photography, whatever? Because it's a lot of people, random people, be like, yeah, I actually have this. And I talked to one guy who's like, I had a Nikon for a bit, and then I got rid of it, and then I got a Fuji and blah blah, or yeah, Fuji, and just talking about camera stuff to people, talking about writing stuff. That's why I like to have a big selection of things with the canvases, with the pins, with the books, with the photos, because every single one of those things, it broadens my chance of having a topic to speak with them about. This is something that they might be able to relate to, and that we can have a good conversation going, and then those things can hopefully lead to the other things, and which could potentially lead to a sale. And there was one lady who, she's like, oh, I really am interested, I want to get these, like, I just didn't bring a lot of cash. She's like, do you take cards? And like, unfortunately, this is my literal first craft fair, so it's not like I have a card reader at the ready, because this is not like something I do all the time, but I would. And I think I spoke with her for like half an hour too. She was a very sweet old lady, and it was a good time. It was a really good time, and I'm looking forward to the next one in a couple weeks, which is July 12th, which is again a churchcraft fair, just the town over, and I swear to God, I better be inside, because they told me I literally picked on the map where I wanted to be, and I picked inside. I think I'm like table number 1 in there. So goddamn it, if they put me outside, I'm raising hell. As long as it's not raining, I can make it work. So I'll be fine. And I don't think I really have to restock anything. I don't have a lot of time to be able. I have 14 days. I have exactly 2 weeks before I would need anything I did buy to restock to arrive, which I need to actually grab a couple copies of the paranormal book, because when I had to give them one for the donation thing, and the one I sold, I only had 3 or 4 with me, because it was like, I'm probably not going to sell these, I'll get a couple of them just to have them for display, but I only have one left because of the donation, because of that stuff. So I do need to go and buy a couple of those copies, but they take so long to get to me. And because I only sold 1 copy of book 1, which again, so very thankful for, I'll take 1 copy. I don't have to restock, because that still leaves me with 9. So, and I'm good on everything else. And yeah, so I'm gonna go jump on that, and just kind of, I'll probably order like 3 more. I still have plenty of Incarnation, I have plenty of the poetry book, and yeah. So anyway, this has been going on for almost 30 minutes, and I want to just stop existing for a little bit. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Actually, I just realized I don't even know what channel I'm going to upload this to. Is this going on the book channel or the vlog channel? I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out. Bye.